Hi, welcome today to everyone. I hope you're having fun doing the dissection. Um, it is uh, it is my pleasure to have you guys do this, but make sure that everybody in your group is actually working and that everyone's following the directions. I'm going to go over what the structures are in the pictures of your packet so you can correctly label them. So this should really help you out today. Okay, and then you can share your information with the rest of your group as they're dissecting the things so you can actually share the information as you're looking at the parts that they're taking out. Okay, now, one of the things that you should realize is that like there's a few of them that are they're not in order. So, like the lungs, for instance, you don't won't get that until after you take out the lungs. But by taking out the lungs, you might not be able to see the other parts that you may need. So be really careful and kind of go through this whole presentation before you share it with everybody else. Okay? So, here we go. This is a picture of the lungs. And if you look on the packet that I provided for you guys, it is basically on page, let's see, page 19. The top of it is the very top, that's a little bit of the larynx. That would be A. B would be the trachea. C would be the left lung apical lobe. Um, The D would be the left lung diaphragmatic lobe, and E would be the right lung intermediate lobe. F would be the right lung diaphragmatic lobe. Uh, G would be the right lung cardiac lobe. And finally, H would be the right lung apical lobe. So those are the labings that you should have on there. Okay, station two. This would be on the pig. It's after you take out the intestines. So in order to get this view, you have to take out the intestines carefully. A would be the kidneys. They're behind the intestines. Then you would have the duodenum would be B. That's the beginning part that leads from where the stomach used to be to the intestines. That little beginning part of the intestines that you see there, where the intestines were cut off, that is actually the duodenum. And then C is the bladder, the urinary bladder where all the urine winds up. Okay, this is the heart. So if you don't know how to spell the things, all the parts of the heart would be on your packet on page, um, here we go. Page 16, it actually, you have a ventral and a dorsal view, in other words, the front and the back. Um, so if we look on here, we've got if we look at the top, like we are looking now, we're looking at A, which is the right atrium. B is the right ventricle. C would be the left ventricle. I'm sorry, left atrium, and D would be the left ventricle. So once again, A is the right atrium, B is the right ventricle, C is the left atrium, and D would be the left ventricle. Okay, so hopefully you got a clean cut heart like the one here. Um, Okay, so this is the neck area. And here we've got the labeled A is the larynx. Uh, B would be like the trachea. And C, it's kind of pointing to where the thymus gland is. So it's kind of, well, we're going to call that the thymus gland. Remember, glands are the areas that look like spongy things. So we're going to call that the thymus gland. Okay, so here we're looking at page 8 in your booklet or your packet, and we've got the labeling of A, B, C, and D. And A is the liver, B is the spleen. It's kind of looks like a tongue. C is the large intestine, and D is the small intestine. So you can find the how to spell those on page 8. Okay, so this area can be seen by lifting the liver. So if you lift up the liver and the liver is labeled A, B is the stomach. You'll see that, and then underneath the liver you have this little sac that's C, which is the common bile duct or just bile duct. and D is the gallbladder. So basically, the gallbladder gets all of the bile from all of the bile produced from the liver gets stored in the gallbladder, and then the bile duct takes it to the digestive system to break down fat. So the bile duct C is the one that takes the bile from that's stored in the gallbladder and takes it to the food to break down the fat. Okay, so here we've got the stomach, and the stomach is labeled on page 9 and also explained on that same page. So you want to go to number 36 where it explains about the stomach. Okay, so part A is called the duodenum. You can get spelling from the page 9. And then you've got the B is diverticulum. You could read about that. And then D would be the stomach, and C would be the esophagus, or whatever the part that's left from after it gets cut out. So we've got A the duodenum, B the diverticulum, C the stomach, and I'm sorry, D the stomach, and C the esophagus. Okay, so here we've got a labeling of part of the intestine, and you have to very carefully pull this out or just push it back so it's still inside connected. Okay, or the intestine kind of up because this would be underneath. And A would be the ending of the small intestine. It's also referred to as the ileum. This would be found on page 9 of your packet, and then that ends up in this blind pouch that we call the cecum. It's a little pouch that kind of has no out. It's a blind little place. So that would be B, the cecum. And C would be the ileocecal valve. And so that is the last two words on page 9 if you don't have problems spelling it. So that would be C. C is ileocecal valve. And then that leads to the colon, which is, of course, D, the colon, which is the going to the towards the large intestine. Okay, so this last picture is not really in one single place, but here it is. You can find these different names throughout the packet. So here we go. The A is the heart. B is a lung. It's one part of the lung. C is the diaphragm. That's the muscle that runs across. It's already cut through there, so you can kind of only see part of it. That's C, the diaphragm. D is the liver, which is huge, and E is the spleen. So that's the labeling for those. Okay, so don't forget to please label yours and then have other people copy yours as they're identifying them on the pig so they know what they're looking at. Also, make sure you pause this throughout if you can, and rewatch it so they can actually know what to label also.